All right.
It's Wednesday, and you know what that means? It means I'm a freaking hot mess today. That's what that means.
I mean, it's a cluster F, a minute and a half in. Good to know.
I'm trying to edit graphics and look stuff up in the 37-second span that video is, and it's really hard to do. I got the banners created. I just need to update them with names because I promise you guys a Gauntlet order. You're gonna get it, whether I had it ready or not. Which
that's right. Damn it, we are doing this. Come hell or high water, come the creek don't rise, as the recent Return to Raw guy would say.
Yeah. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greg Cherry Show. Yes. Jeff is back, which thank God.
When not the big on me for a thank God, we got issues, but that's okay.
Listen, I like hosting the show with Big G, but for some reason, it's so much easier with you. Like, well, I don't know what it is. Like, I like Big G. It was in his wedding, but like for some reason, we just have.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we have the chemistry to be able to host the show.
Well, it also comes with, I've been, as of today's 26th, right?
Yes.
As of yesterday, I've been doing this shit for 20 years. So
there you go. Happy anniversary to Jeff.
Thank you. Aaron and I started that show that is like Voldemort. We can't say the name out loud, but we started the audio version of that show 20 years ago. Yesterday, God help us. Which means Friday is the anniversary of my first interview. That was with Dan Severn. So it's been a long and winding road, and I will be at another love of mine on the 28th. So we'll definitely be all kinds of celebrating this weekend. We got long and winding road. It really applies. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. It really does apply to things like this. I mean, I was talking to a friend just before we came on the air about, we just met recently. This friend of mine and we just met her and I at a club I go to usually on Wednesday nights. I'm not going this week because everybody's in New Orleans for another event. But found out she's a Kings fan. It's like they're like part of my DNA. Everybody that watches me knows that. So it's just kind of crazy how the world kind of has synergy to it. I'll be at Disneyland working all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But I'm also having JJ and his little extended family come down on Sunday as guests. So it's going to be a cornucopia of celebration this week. And of course, Halloween is always good. Halloween's fun, and actually. We have a big show, not a big. Well, it's big for JJ and I. How about that? Coming up on Monday, we'll get to that in the plug portion of the show.
Yes, I didn't have a whole lot prepared for today. The Irish won this past Saturday, so they're 4-3. Yay! I wish they would have done that when I was there. I didn't get to talk a whole lot about that experience. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was nice to finally be in South Bend for a game.
Right?
Just wish they would have won it.
Hey, it's one of those, you take it in steps. You got to go to a game. That's cool. Now the next step is when you go, just pray harder for a win.
Yeah. Is that what happens when I'm not Catholic anymore? Of course, I never really was. So.
Well, right. And it's the Kings got their first home win yesterday. I just happened to be there. So, it's just one of those, things are starting to turn upward. Just it's going slow for us on the sports front. Hey, at least Philadelphia Eagles did not win this weekend.
Why do you have to bring that up? Because they play the Steelers this Sunday.
Hey, I hope the Steelers whoop their ass as much as I,
Okay, have you seen the Steelers offense?
No, because it doesn't exist.
Exactly. That's my point.
Hey, you know what though? Hey, I can be a man of hope and even prayer a little bit. I'm not the most religious guy in the room. Lord knows that's the case. But you know what? I need Philadelphia to start losing. This is some bullshit. They keep ending up at the top of Mikey's power rankings because they haven't lost a game yet. I need that to end. And whether it happens against the Steelers or not, I need to keep hoping it'll be a thing soon. Because Cowboys at 5-2 having the best record they've had in freaking forever, and we still can't get the top spot in the East. So
here's the thing. Also, somebody put up a stat. I don't know if it was yesterday, today, or when it was. The Steelers have not won in Philadelphia since 1965.
Piss. to steal.
They've had far better teams than this one. So
Well, hey, there's a movie that came out that was rather famous for about 5 minutes called Any Given Sunday. So, just throwing it out there.
I mean,
Stranger Things, which is a current trend, have happened. So,
I mean, the Steelers fan base is on their weekly fire Matt Canada phase, which
you've been in that hole since week 1, brother. To be fair,
I've been in that hole since last season.
I was going to say, you were saying that before it was even made official that he was going to be the guy. So,
well, no, he was the guy last season, and he sucked then.
Yeah.
How the Steelers managed to barely pull out a playoff spot is beyond me.
Right.
9-7-1.
Hey, I can never complain about football standings ever again after the shit show that was the NFC East in 2020. So, it's kind of
very true. Give me one second. I hear something slamming, and I don't know what it is. Hold the fort down.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend. Cowboys got the Bears, Steelers got the Eagles, which is, not that the Bears are, oh my God, they're the Bear, they're not the, the monsters of the Midway that they were in the, the 70s and 80s, but they're still the Bears. And there's always that, that aura about, Chicago and, that team. So I don't necessarily go in with an aura of cockiness. Hey, guess what? Cool. Dak came back. He won his first game. That's great, but that's one game. And his first game this season, he ended up with an injury and lost. So one of the only 2 losses they have this year. It happens to be, of course, against freaking Philadelphia. So, I'm hopeful, but we'll see how the weekend goes. Again, I'm going to be completely immersed in the mouse bubble all weekend. I mean, I had my folks buy me a Roku Express. I could get proper television at the motel as opposed to what they offer on cable. Lord. I want to watch my shit when I'm gone. I want to be as home as possible when I'm on the road for 4 freaking days this time. So, because I am working Halloween so I'm working a Monday for the first time that I've been scheduled. So, which means I'll probably be watching. Well, by the time I actually clock in, I'll probably not get to watch Monday Night Football, but that is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hopeful there'll be at least a decent showing with Dallas and Chicago. I'm not too optimistic about the Battle of Pennsylvania, but I can hope.
Listen, as somebody who wanted the Battle of Pennsylvania in the Super Bowl, what was it, 2005? Yeah. Super Bowl 39?
Yes.
Man, that would have been awesome. But then, of course, freaking Tom Brady existed. Which, hey, the Steelers beat Tom Brady at least.
They sure did. Well, is it okay? There's good and bad in that statement this season. Yes, Steelers beat Tom Brady this season, but with Brady and the Bucs record, is that really even a big deal this year? Because they're
playing over Brady. That's what I'm taking it.
Right. They're playing very un-Brady ball this year by no, short, exaggeration at all. They're playing very un-Brady ball. And like I said yesterday on the sports bar, Aaron Rodgers is devolving more into CM Punk at the media scrum with each passing post-game press conference appearance.
I mean, I benched him this week in fantasy football. It's like, I don't know what the heck happened with Aaron Rodgers, but it's like, he sucks.
Well,
like the Packers do not look good at all.
No. And it's very, I have quite a few friends that are hardcore cheeseheads, and even they're starting to waver. It's interesting to see. Again, this year's playing out very, very strangely. The Cowboys could have very easily stepped on their own dick after week 1 because Dak went down again. And, we came out of that and we went on a 4-1 run before he came back this last weekend.
It's interesting to me that the Cowboys went back to Dak when Cooper Rush was kind of the hot hand. But I mean, maybe that's a contractual situation where it's like, hey, we're paying Dak a ton of money. He's going to play. He's not going to sit on the bench.
No,
he picked up the win.
Whether he accepted that franchise tag or not a couple years ago, he is getting paid a shit ton of money. You don't pay somebody to ride the pine. That's just the way it is. But you know what? He went out there, and granted, it was against Detroit, so it doesn't really matter. Of course not, because it's Detroit. But like I said, my dad, Cowboys won. That's what I'm going with. This week will be a better test because, like I was telling you when you were walking out, the Bears aren't the monsters of the Mongo era, right? But they're still the Bears, and there's always that aura about playing Chicago. So this will be a better test for Dak and his comeback than Detroit was by any means.
Especially with the beatdown that the Bears gave the Pats on Monday night.
Oh yeah, they're hot. Like they are right. And it's funny. So we talked about on Tuesday. How soon can we start the countdown to Belichick getting fired? It's like, look, he's not just the coach; he's the GM. There's some sort of contractual thing in there where, they're gonna have to really negotiate some sort of major severance thing to get rid of his ass. So, which I'm all for the record, as everybody knows, because screw that guy. We're not quite far enough from the show where I can start saying the F word. But I did on Tuesday. I sure said it on Tuesday's show with Mikey. But yeah, he can't go soon enough, and it's the magic's gone from that team. Brady left, and Belichick tried bringing Newton in. It still didn't work, and they're not the Patriots. Cheating or not, that the aura's gone. Yeah. So how long ownership decides to retain Belichick is up to them.
There doesn't look like there's going to be a fun Thursday game until Thanksgiving when the Giants and the Cowboys play.
Can we not play a division rival one friggin' year on Thanksgiving? I'm begging you, I'm begging you.
Hey, get on whoever schedules in the NFL. I just reading what I hear.
No. I mean, that's why I said NFL. I didn't say, Greg, can you make it like, yeah, this is your fault. Clearly it's your fault, Jerry. It's 100% you doing this shit to us.
Hey, listen, if this is the way I schedule the Steelers season, then I apologize because this is a
right? Just going to say, if you're scheduling, you did it to your damn selves then. Yeah. Lord. But yeah, more often than not, we play Philadelphia, which is always an adventure in this house because my dad's sister's an Eagles fan and we're Cowboys people. So God, I hate Thanksgiving. I feel like freaking Ron White during his comedy bit talking about Thanksgiving. Giants are not as big. Hey, Giants got a great record too right now. They're playing great ball too. So
yeah, I mean you can't fault the turnaround in the Meadowlands because even the Jets are doing good.
I was going to say the Jets are on the left side of Mikey's power rankings for the first time since we started this show. Anybody's power rankings for the first time in decades. They're actually playing 500 ball. Like, what the frick is going on?
I mean, to be fair, it hasn't been that long since the Jets were in the AFC Championship.
That's fair.
But still, I mean, they lost to the Steelers, who then lost in the Super Bowl to the Pats, or not the Pats, the Packers.
But the Jets fell so dramatically after that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they've just been in the hole. Even Jacksonville is not as, and again, I say this with more than a grain of salt. They're not as bad as they have been. They're still a very bad team, but they're not, playing 7 ball at this point. They actually won a couple of games. So, and part of that, I'm sure is no small part of that is Papa Khan going, God, the wrestling's so bad. We got to do something on this side of the things. It's not the wrestling in and of itself is bad. It's just the internal strife is just so public and so pronounced that, it's rough. But yeah, AEW tonight, Chucky with Liv Morgan tonight. It's going to be a fun Wednesday night.
It will be. What up, Big Baller G?
Okay. Well, then I'll back off from attacking the Eagles for the moment, anyway.
I'm done. Don't get me started, Jeff. I'm done.
I mean, we've gotten to the point where like my left toe could draw up a better offensive scheme than Matt Canada.
Greg, what the hell? 4 dropped interceptions,
dude. I'm telling you, like. Was Minkin near any of them? 2 of them, I think, were Levi.
Terrell Edmonds.
Edmonds should have had his.
Sutton was in the end zone. I don't think Minka is any towards any of them.
No, Sutton's was the one that was right in his freaking hands, and he dropped it. That one was inexcusable.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have led to anything
and
because it was near the end of the half, but still.
Our defense held the Dolphins to 16 points all the way through 3 quarters. And
all
our
the way through 4. They left them scoreless in the second half.
Yeah. And
seriously, for the first time since the injury, the defense actually looked better than they have since
TJ's
like it couldn't happen. But yeah, the offense needs to make up for it, and they're not.
Yeah, and Pickett did pretty good. I mean, besides those 2 picks that he had.
I was going to say Pickett was throwing pick sixes more than he was throwing touchdowns.
But yeah, I mean, me and Greg always talk about it when I message. It's Matt Canada. It's like, what are we gonna do? Wait till the end of the season to fire his ass? And go.
Now, it may come down to something like we talked about with Belichick earlier. Maybe there's a contractual thing or Dak, excuse me. Still focused on Belichick just going away forever. Something to do with Dak where they don't want to necessarily have a complete, chaotic uproar, but at the same time, the fans are pissed right now because he's just not doing his job at all. Yeah. When I've never seen Greg more active in the course of one day on Twitter than he was on Sunday during that game, between he and Kate's back and forth and just the general pissed offness that was Greg Cherry. It's like, damn.
Well, here's the thing. The Yankees were playing terribly too, and they're gone from the playoffs. So like within a span of a couple hours, it was just complete sports disappointment for myself and Kate.
So I'm only pissed at the Yankees more so because of let Houston get through, which just irritates the shit out of me.
They got swept by the Astros, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
I have some breaking news.
And it's like, I can't.
Hold on, Jeff, hold on. Big
J I don't know if you saw this, but so TJ Watt was designated to return from IR. He has an opening of 21 days to make it back to the active roster.
Okay, so they'll probably be after the bye.
Yep.
Which is what they were planning on doing anyway.
Yep. So at this point, I think you had said something like, might as well just keep him off the rest of the season.
Yeah, why risk getting him hurt again if this season is pretty much a wash? Like the defense is going to have to start scoring touchdowns because the offense can't.
I forgot what I was saying.
I do want to interrupt you again, Jeff. I'm sorry because we have a donation from Brett.
No, that's always fine.
Yeah. So I do want to put that. Thank you, Brett, for that. And we'll put it up on the screen. I do want to say, coming up shortly after our sports discussion, we'll be revealing the order of the Gauntlet.
Nice. Safit, that is a rumor. Yeah. Unless there's been an official press release by WWE, nothing's official. So.
That's very true.
So, would I like to see the Hell in a Cell being canceled? Yes. Make Hell in a Cell mean something. Please do that. Please do all those things.
Yeah, I've seen reports similar to that the Hell in a Cell as a concept, like as an event concept, is canceled. Which cancel that and TLC and all the other ones that surround
in the water.
Okay, good. The Chamber too, really. Like you could call that No Way Out, or you could move the Chamber to something else.
Well,
I hate that having its own show.
Well, the Chamber in and of itself having its own show is questionable, if you would ever want to call it, but at least there's a definitive road to WrestleMania, and you have to get through that Elimination Chamber to get to the dance. I don't mind that so much.
Yeah.
But Hell in a Cell was always, a feud ender, a career risk situation between two people, in some cases in tag teams, that just could not sell any other way. Hell in a Cell needs to be all right, we're going to go ahead and, put these two in this gigantic, Satan structure and just let them tear each other apart. The Chamber at least has that dynamic of, especially in a championship match, it's like, okay, you have to really earn your spot. Like, for example, the Royal Rumble winner's already going to WrestleMania. Champion can coast, but put him in the chamber, then he can't coast.
Hmm.
And on that note, with Brett commenting like I did, we'll go ahead and do his spin.
All right, Brett, here you go. Here's your spin.
Let's see it.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, of course, with my knees hurting, why not? At least it wasn't the next spot, which is 200.
Yeah, geez, yeah. It's like, I am getting my exercise in at Disney. I'm taking 50,000 steps a weekend. I'm not going to be doing any Greg Cherry show exercising for a while. This is the one day a week I don't have to worry about any production stuff on podcasting or Disney cast member stuff. I can just kick back and have a conversation with my friends. This is my favorite part of the week.
Macho man.
Yeah, macho man. You can do the macho voice if it comes up on the wheel later.
I want to be a macho man, yeah.
Definitely think Disney missed the boat not casting him in a voice role somewhere along the way. That was a distinctive major Disney character. Yeah.
Imagine Mickey Mouse with the Macho Man voice.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, if we're gonna go there with that voice, just give me a second to get my falsetto going here. I can do it pretty good.
So I'm not, for the record, I'm not going to move the camera because my house right now, this room too, it is chaotic because we're getting ready to move.
Yes.
So before I start doing this, I want to let you know next week's show is going to be the last one in this house because we're going to be moving. And the Greg Cherry Show might take a delay. Like we might go on a little bit of a hiatus, but we won't be gone too long. Because the 9th I'll be on vacation. 16th is the day after we move. I doubt I'll be.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
23rd is the day before Thanksgiving. So maybe November 30th.
Worst case scenario, I'll do some sort of show on those Wednesdays just to have something to fill the gaps, if you will.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind and be like, I still want to do the shows, but and yeah, Brett, it is going to be very weird with the Greg Cherry Show, not with this room. It's going to be weird, especially when we start doing the Gauntlet, which again, I'm going to be announcing. And it's a very interesting order that I ended up drawing. Let me tell you that much. It wasn't what I expected. And that can go away.
Well, there we go. Here come the. We never get those on this show. What the shit?
Yeah, typically it's after.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Just 20, thankfully.
All right. And let's go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We got 5 more to go.
There you go.
Yep.
So I know I've asked you, Greg, about this, and gee, forgive me for my memory right now. You've also been to Disney World. I got my gift from there, and I appreciate that. But you haven't been to Disneyland, correct?
Negative.
Okay.
Me and the wife plan on making a trip here, hopefully in the next couple of years.
Well, have to let me know. There's some. I just was curious because we were talking about the exercising earlier. It's like I'm also getting my stairs in, and people don't even realize that I'm doing it because you don't see a whole lot of stairs at Disneyland if you watch stuff on TV or whatever. But I found out in the course of getting this new role that even though they're both on Main Street, there's only a slight to the guest eye elevation as you go toward what we call the Jolly Holiday, which is like a stop in for like coffees and drinks and pastries at the end of Main Street. It's actually a whole flight of stairs up from the main restaurant, which is Carnation Cafe, I didn't know that when I took the role, but yeah, if we're going between two locations, like fly the stairs every hour or so. It's crazy. I opened up my pedometer after my first weekend, so October 10th, I opened my pedometer. First thing it said was, "Is this still Jeff?" Yes. But yeah, it's cool, and I definitely with the company's 100th anniversary next year, which God, that's bonkers in of itself. Definitely recommend everybody get out there to both parks, to any park around the world, really. And since you were in Florida, G, you know about these. We actually started using magic bands out here today. Was the first day.
Oh, nice, cool.
So
cool,
I get to get mine on Friday when I go in and clock.
So let me ask this: with Disney World having like the 4 parks, is Disneyland one big old park?
No, we were for 55 to 2001. It was one. Well, not quite 2001 because the parking lot went down well before that for construction. But 2001, Disney California Adventure became the second park within what is now called the Disneyland Resort.
Okay, gotcha.
So Disneyland is now Disneyland Park officially in internal company stuff, and and California Adventure DCA is now what used to be the big parking lot. There's now 2 parks, a giant parking structure. It's Mickey and Friends. There's like 3 or 4 other secondary parking lot areas. There's 3 hotels. I think they're working on a 4th. It's still a big property, and I realized how big it was when I walked from the corporate office to the end of the park. It was like, because like it goes like an entire pair of city blocks down Harbor Boulevard, pretty much. I didn't realize how big the entire property got, but yeah, it's still massive, and it's not quite Disney World big by any means. But you figure we're a couple of thousand acres. Disney World's 20-something thousand acres or whatever the hell it is now. It's ridiculous, but yeah, we are at least 2 theme parks, and hopefully not too much more going forward.
Yeah. All right, let's get this ball rolling.
It is that time. So this was the donation goal for August, and I wasn't sure that Yins would meet it, but surprisingly enough, in the last few days, the goal was met. And quite frankly, if the goal wouldn't have been met, I'm going to be honest about something real quick. I know I keep stalling about this, but honestly, if it wasn't for this gauntlet, I would probably be done with wrestling trivia as a whole.
Right.
Which I probably still will be after this is over. But I this is an obligation that I have to fulfill. And I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. So Jeff gets.
We could also talk about if the goal wasn't met, just doing a fatal 4-way with Brett, and I think a couple of names were mentioned, and just have a big final fatal 4-way blowout and just be done with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's run its course.
Well, it has run its course, and also for me, it's just like I've been champion forever. What do I have to prove?
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah, and like you said last week, you got jack of all trades to worry about right now. So
yeah, I got jack of all trades, which my gosh, has that been a nightmare to try and get together this month. There is going to be an episode tomorrow. I have at least 2 teams, so we will see how that goes. It's going to be chaos. I haven't even started on it, but
the thing, and again, I've said this to both of you at different times. I've said it to Aaron countless times in the last 20 years. People don't realize that we do have lives when we go this way.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, yes, this is wonderful to do on a Wednesday, jack of all trades on a Thursday live, whenever I happen to be in front of my computer actually doing my damn shows when I'm not down at the House of Mouse. But we do have lives, and hopefully the audience will understand that, just because we've picked up lives over the last 20 years, when Aaron and I first started, this was what we did. So with any luck, they'll be understanding. If they're not, then they're not, and they'll find other ways to entertain themselves, find other things to bitch about.
Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Obviously, we know who number 1 is.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, it's me. But this is where it gets interesting, because the first person I have to face off with in the random draw that I did
thank God.
Jesus.
Dwayne Atkinson.
Oh man, there you go.
So Dwayne is going to be my first. He might be my only opponent. It depends how it goes.
Hey, again, these guys, these people are in this gauntlet because they deserve to be there. So any one of them can hit that 10 mark first.
Yeah, that's very true. All right. At number 3.
Oh
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't first, but you're right after Dwayne, so or right after me. I don't know. Again, we haven't started filming this because nobody knew what the order was.
Yes.
And it's funny because Big Bowler G will actually be the first person, assuming I get past Dwayne, he'll be the first person that I face for the second time in this ring.
Yes.
Because up to this point, I've defended the title against 36 different people.
There you go.
In that same vein, somebody else that I faced before.
Oh,
Scott got
the rubber match.
It is the rubber match, essentially.
If you make it that far, of course.
Scott, still the reigning bump champion because he hasn't defended the title in over a year.
Well,
geez, Scott, I defend my title more than you defend yours. Damn it.
That's right. All you haters out there that say Greg doesn't win his title, Scott won his title. What, WrestleMania last year?
Yeah.
Or this year's WrestleMania, but whatever. Yeah.
At number 5.
Oh, halfway point. Interesting.
He's at the halfway point. Well, yeah, kind of halfway point.
Kind of, sort of.
Fourth out of 9 that I'd have to face.
Yeah. Well, he's 5 out of 10, however you look at it. So
yeah, 5 out of 10. So
yeah, interesting.
Cool. Yeah, Brett is number 5. At number 6, he just beat me in a wrestling with trivia match. JPO himself, Jordan Owens. So he really earned his spot into the gauntlet by beating me over there.
Wow. I like what Brett wrote. That's funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Good stuff.
At number 7, the former 4-time, at least, Fan Quizlemania champion.
Oh.
Joey Suba.
There you go.
So he will be a participant. He's going to be tough to beat because, like, in Fan Quizlemania, the trivia rounds were one of his strong suits.
Yes.
It's tough to beat him in those.
So whoever gets there and faces number 7 is going to have a tough round.
Yeah. At number 8.
Ooh.
All Mead.
Okay, so we'll have to hope whoever faces Paul isn't a WCW heavy round.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're coming up with the question, so it's.
Hey, but like I said, it's supposed to be me and JB3. I have not had a chance to talk. Like I said,
it might just be you.
There will be. We're gonna come up with questions, and we're just gonna throw them into a randomizer and just pick 20 plus skip for each game, and just and then we'll even randomize it again which set goes with which game. So
yeah,
it's literally gonna be completely random ass shit. So
yeah, you'll have to. Honestly, all the questions might be you.
Fair enough. Good. Well, you know what? The big part about that is there's a lot of downtime when I have these weekends at Disney because I'm at the motel. So I have nothing but downtime going forward as far as during the weekend daytime. So I'll start hammering them out.
At number 9.
T5.
That's interesting. Part of me wants you to get there now because that'd be cool to see you have to face the guy that got you ready for me. That'd be cool.
It will be the first time that Fame and I have done battle in a wrestling trivia match on the WTC ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And the final entrant in this gauntlet, whoever wins the match between Travis Fame and whoever, the final match of this tournament That person goes one-on-one
What?
with Sean Ross.
Shit.
Dude! You made it happen. That's
I
wonderful.
did make it happen. I confirmed it with him last week that we're going to film that
Wow.
match sometime in December. So between now and mid-December, we have to get the other matches done.
Okay. Okay.
But yes,
Well,
SRS
again,
is the final.
it's what, October
participant in
26th?
Gauntlet.
So the 29th, 30th, and 31st this weekend, I'll have daytime to, well, not the 30th because I'm going to the park for his guest. Crap. But yeah, we will get these matches done. We will get these questions done. We'll make it happen.
Yep.
Cool.
That's cool you got, Sean. Right? That's a big one. That's nicely done, sir.
JB3, I specified that we haven't faced off in WTC. I know we faced off in CWT because Fame likes to remind me that he stole a Rumble question from me.
Good. It gives me time to actually prepare.
Yeah, I'm.
So I can get my ass kicked.
Like I said, I'm just gonna throw. I'm gonna get the questions together, and so now that I know the quality and the quantity of people involved here.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked.
Try to. Well, because here's the thing. Like I got accused of throwing out shit that's like, dude, this is before even you were born, Meacham. What the shit? Yeah. These people know their stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Like, even if it didn't happen in their lifetime, they know their stuff. And if they don't, they wouldn't be in the Gauntlet.
I mean, crying out loud, Brett wasn't even born before, like, Brett wasn't alive before this century. So he knows stuff. Like,
exactly. I can't just do 200 questions of ruthless aggression and sense. Like, that's gotta be a really.
I mean, that would be awesome, honestly. Because that's my shit right there. The ruthless aggression and rumbles. That's all 200 questions. That's all right. It's gonna
be. So first of all, no. Second of all, definitely no. Third of all, since there's 10 different combatants, I'm just gonna do. I'll come up with like 10 categories and just do question, and then just like I said, throw it in the freaking chili pot and stir it up and pour out 10 games.
Yep, that's what I had to do. Like when I came up with questions, I wrote 20 different categories and came up with like 15 questions per category for the tournament because I had 15 matches.
Right.
So that's how I did that.
Okay.
I'm glad we're going to get this over with. I am not looking forward to actually participating. Honestly, I feel like my trivia game has gone downhill so quickly. Honestly.
Well, it's one of the, Greg, you put everything you had show wise into defending the title. Then you put everything of your being show wise into getting on Quizlemania.
Yeah.
You hit both those goals masterfully. You did fairly well. I just even better than fairly well on Quizlemania. And you've been the best champion we've had on WTC brand. A thing that really Aaron and Virtue Eyes kind of threw together and went, here, let's do this to do something different. And here we are 5 years later, and it's a freaking thing, and I love it. Mm-hmm. So, has your game gone down? No, it's just, you're not quite my age bracket, but you're CM Punk. You're old, you're tired, you're freaking sore, and you're working with kids. All these people are younger than you. So, it's one of those, you're not quite level where you want to piss off, piss the business away like Punk was, but
Yeah.
Josh, I'm going to do my damnedest, but there's no guarantees.
That's a 180 plus skip he's got to get through. So,
I will be. I will.
If there's any ties, God forbid.
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't think about that. Piss.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have to come up with too many ties because we haven't had a ton of them in the history of the show.
No, but my luck, there'll be freaking 9 ties.
I swear, if there's 9 ties, I'm gonna jump off a cliff.
You're going to survive this damn move. You're going to go up on your balcony and be like, I can't anymore. That's it. I'm over it. The Steelers suck, and this trivia's gave me gray hair. I'm over everything. The Yankees lost to the goddamn Astros 4 straight. Piss on everything right now. Oh God.
Oh my God. Go, Josh.
Listen, you guys lost to the Ravens too. You're 2-5, just like us. All right.
Well, he did mention on last night's show that if the Browns have to suffer, everybody suffer with it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna sit here riding that blue and silver 5-2 as long as I can. Like, fucking for real. Like, I am gonna enjoy this as long as I possibly can because I know it's not forever with the Cowboys. I know that's not a thing. So
yeah, if we somehow beat the Eagles next Sunday, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Hey, I was telling Greg, any given Sunday, number 1, number 2, if for no other reason than just to make my Sunday even better. Because like I said, I'm going in Sunday to play as a guest, and then I get to go make money for a few hours at Disneyland, and I get to be there on Halloween. So if the Steelers can pull that off on top of my awesome Sunday, shit. Yes, please.
Yeah.
So I noticed it wasn't really a question, but somebody pointed out that the Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 150 women list comes out of kind of like comparable to PWI 500. I'm kind of over the whole PWI being an important thing, and that's coming from me, who was a subscriber for many. Like, it's so. I don't want to call what they do irrelevant because the people that actually work there do a great job with what they do, but in today's digital age, it's so low on the totem pole compared to when they started in 1979, when, a lot of people didn't have basic cable access. So they would look to the aftermags for who was doing what. And like, if they're in the Southeast, what was going on in WWF or, vice versa, so that's great that those writers have their opinions, but they are just that.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're the go-to folks. Unfortunately, in this age, people either go with the Meltzers and the likes, or they hate on them so much that they don't give any journalists the proper credibility they deserve. So that's what it is. Whoever gets the top spot, cool on her. That's wonderful for her. Much like with Roman when he got it, and people were, it's like, you know what? Tell me who was a more dominant figure in wrestling or sports entertainment than Roman Reigns the last 2 years. I'll wait. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I am going to AEW next week in Baltimore, so that should be fun.
That'll be cool.
It'll be my 6th AEW show, I believe.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll be back here in January for a live Dynamite, and they're actually going to do Rampage this time afterwards.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep. I saw Dwayne had a question. He said something about Ava Raine or Simone Johnson debuted last night on NXT. And he said, did anyone think she would be part of the schism?
I'm surprised she's on it all so soon, honestly.
Well, she's been there since 2020, technically.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those that everybody knows who she is.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure.
Chanting, I watched the clip. They were chanting Rocky.
They were, which could be very good or very bad for her,
Yeah. Because people are going to think, much like with Charlotte, that, had a famous dad who's pretty good at wrestling.
But here's the difference, though. At least with, what are they calling her? What's Ava? What's
Ava Raine.
Ava. At least with Ava, they're putting her in a group to start out, much like they didn't do with Dwayne. They put Dwayne by himself as Rocky Maivia, the plucky baby face, and the people shit on it. It wasn't until he went into the Nation and really allowed his character and his own self to mature and grow into The Rock that he really exploded. So hopefully, granted, Schism's a little different, not going to lie, but maybe with not only with working within a faction of people, and you got, the team formerly known as the Grizzled Young Veterans are just a great tag team. And Joe Gacy, Joe's got a different, unique personality for this industry. But, working with them and in developmental with Shawn Michaels, which is always a good thing. Maybe she'll come out of it a shining star.
So let me ask you, let me follow up with that one. So with the Bloodline being on SmackDown, they just added Solo. Do we see her going to the Bloodline maybe within the next, if the Bloodline's still around, maybe the next year or two, since she is family?
Greg, I would definitely want to hear Greg's thing because this is the Rick Jerry show after all. I would say if the Bloodline survives WrestleMania with at least their dominance, if not the titles intact, Mania and SummerSlam would, if she's developed properly as a NXT talent, then yeah, definitely sometime next year between Mania and SummerSlam for my money.
I was just curious. I figured I'd throw that out there.
I don't think that they need her in the Bloodline. I think she needs to establish her own self first, which is why I kind of like that she's with Schism, because she's not coming out as like, hey, she's the daughter of The Rock.
Right.
She's coming out as a completely different character trying to be somebody else. So I'm for it because we shouldn't expect her to be a carbon copy of The Rock, because I think that's part of the reason why Charlotte Flair still gets so much crap, because she was introduced as the daughter of Ric Flair. She basically is Ric Flair, except, a more athletic version.
Flair literally introduced her to television. So, it was, but also I will counter the Bloodline doesn't need her with, are they ever going to bring Naomi back? Because I think the only thing, if there is anything missing from the Bloodline, is a women's presence.
Yeah.
And she's legit Bloodline, not just married Bloodline. So,
I mean, maybe eventually you see a certain Mrs. come into the fold.
Yeah. Again, there's no shortage of possibilities on that side. It's just, do they ever pull that trigger, or do they just assume that this? I mean, because God, did any of us think, when the feud started with Jay, that it would develop into what it has?
No,
I didn't.
No.
Did anybody think that Sammy, basically going in there to kiss their ass and not get beat up would lead to where this is led? I sure as shit didn't.
Honestly, Sammy is the best thing in the Bloodline right now, besides Roman, obviously. But Sammy,
I forget who replied and who said it, or whatever. Somebody on Twitter said, who's been WWE MVP this year? And I think it was Kate that went, how is it not Sammy? He has been a unbelievable presence on television this year because of this thing with the Bloodline.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sammy won male superstar of the year for NoDQ.com.
Hey, you know what? I've been a part of every one of those damn things. So I am all for that. If the people nominate him, I will be on that award show. I remember you were there with the nominees. I will push for that shit. Are you kidding me? I will, 100%. Because if not superstar, definitely MVP.
Yeah.
Wrong MVP. Yeah, like when the Bloodline eventually turns against Sammy, because what's going to happen.
Oh yeah,
the babyface reaction that he will get, and likely Kevin Owens will get by saving him. Like that match, if they eventually go the Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos at WrestleMania route, that match is going to have so much heat to it. It's going to blow the roof off.
Yeah, when
Kevin Owens becomes a Grand Slam champion.
Thankfully, SoFi's an open roof. We'd be in trouble to lose our damn stadium already.
Right.
Oh, I don't know if either of you watched the show yesterday. I did announce that I sold my WrestleMania ticket.
Okay, I remember you mentioning that a while. I think it was on the review you mentioned it. I
may have. It's one of those, by the time Mania hits, I will have been roughly 6 months in with Disney. Yeah. I didn't want to try, and I'm looking to transfer out of department. That's not a secret to the company. That's very aware of what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to, oh shit, by the way, I'm on the air and I blew it now. I don't want to be transferring into a new role and trying to negotiate time off. That's
right. Totally understandable.
So, but
totally understandable.
Brand new stadium in Los Angeles. It'll come back.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, Usos and Owens versus Usos versus Owens and Zayn will definitely, it should be a feature attraction. If it wasn't for a men's world title and women's world title situation, it should be a main event of one of the nights, honest to God. But
yeah. I mean, look at the reaction Sam is getting right now every time he shows up.
it just builds every single week with him. So,
all right. So get your guys' questions in for the Q&A while we close the show. I do want to announce that next week on the show, we will be having a very special guest that we'll be interviewing. It's in fact her birthday today. Ella J will be on the show. So I'm looking forward to that. We've been communicating the last couple of weeks about her appearance on the show. We'll have her for the entire hour, which is awesome. So check out next week's show. Again, the last show in this very house before the move. So it's going to be so weird, like Brett said earlier.
Yeah.
Not to see this particular setup.
Right. No, it was like moving over here and finally getting a green screen I've been wanting all these years. It was a cool thing. So it was very, very cathartic to have a new setup. So I look forward to that for you. Definitely. Yeah, I know that. I know the sale on the move has been challenging. So mine's still ongoing. So that I know. But I'm here. And that's the important thing. I'm going to run through the plugs really quick while the questions come in because there's a shit ton I got to talk about. So I'll just do it real quick. JJ is still in the midst of his 31 Days of Classic Horror. We are finishing with Halloween. And I'm not trying to say Resurrection's classic horror, so eat my shorts if you think that's what I'm saying. But that is the review that went up today. Don't bother watching the movie if you don't feel like being sad about your damn choices in life. But JJ's review of it went up today. It is. I enjoyed his review of it. He has to review the Rob Zombie movies this week, so God bless him for having to suffer through. Because he hates those movies. Well, he tolerates the first one. He hates the second one. So there is that. Yeah. And then he finishes with the current trilogy, and he and I are going to review Halloween Ends together on Halloween this coming Monday. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. Our friends that crafted the Haddonfield Nightmare, which the sequel's been announced, the trailer's run on the shows a couple times. They had another production that actually premieres this Friday on across social media, and that's My Special Boy, which is a Friday the 13th fan film. I watched it this morning. Man, is it everything 2009 should have been, with some actual thought and love put into it. Can't recommend that enough.
Is that going to be on YouTube eventually too? Then
I think it's on YouTube on Friday. Yeah, I think they're on YouTube on Friday. It's just some of us got access to it because they like us. So and there's at least one hard copy going out to Michigan with the boss. So the boss and Mrs. Boss will get to watch that pretty soon here. Saturdays we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff. Open mic night is whether we have their pay-per-view or not. We have open mic night every Saturday night, and at the end of I'm gonna take your banner down real quick, Greg. Sorry about that. There it goes. Friday, December 23rd, which is the eve of Christmas Eve, we'll have open mic night because we're not working Christmas Eve. I'm not Santa Claus. I'm not going to work Christmas Eve. And then following Saturday will be New Year's Eve, and we will be counting down the New Year since we go on at 11 o'clock Eastern anyway. We'll be counting down to at least East Coast New Year, and we'll see how long us old fogies can stay on the air for the rest of the country. Sapway Sports Bar again every Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern, hopefully on this coming Tuesday, as we'll talk wrestling after NXT in our normal time slot, we're hoping. Dads finishes the month with November to Remember matches, charity singles, Santa portrayals, and a 3-week-long celebration of Disney soundtrack songs. That's all coming up for the dads. JJ's new release Saturday is Bitch Ass. It's a horror movie. It is what it is. It's a Netflix thing. And then he's got at least 6 announced for November, December, including Black Adam, the first Saturday, November 5th. So that'll be cool to see his thoughts on that, as well as Black Panther Wakanda Forever toward the end of November. If the characters in the parks are any indication, Wakanda Forever is going to be a really cool movie. He's then covering, I didn't get both graphics in here, which pisses me off, but that's okay. Sandra Bullock in November for Renegades Reviews. Awesome. And then we're covering all those on the Jeff Beacher Network Premium Live Event pay-per-view coverage, including Crown Jewel. Noah's conceded to do Crown Jewel, so we'll be covering that a week from Saturday. Also in November, the greatest wrestling Q&A ever, according to Darren. That'll be in Talk Wrestling's time. Actually, it'll be in. I just realized that's in the time slot for Snapway, so we'll have to figure that out. But it's Tuesday at 7 Eastern. That's Aaron and I. And then I'll be guest hosting Renegades Reviews on November 20th after his episode of Warzone, reviewing the Mickey documentary. I'm looking forward to that. And JJ also will be reviewing the Santa Claus series. I know Big G's looking forward to that. We've talked about that. That premieres the week before the first episode of the review, but the reviews will start Thanksgiving Day. All right.
There you go. All right. Dwayne, yes, we will.
Yes.
Likely after the move to give Jeff time to make questions and for me to get set up over there.
Figure if the move is coming up in the next week or two, that'll give me 2 full weekends at Disney to get shit done. So
well, here's the thing: we're moving all our stuff next Thursday, going on vacation the week after, so it's likely going to be like mid-November.
So I've got at least 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, you've got time.
Yeah. Cool.
Who do you see the OC bringing in to help solve the Rhea Ripley issue? Alba Fire. Also, thoughts on the Anderson New Japan situation. Well, Anderson having to vacate the never openweight title because he doesn't work there anymore.
Right.
Kind of.
Well,
has to, doesn't he?
There's a lot to that, though. And again, I have not talked to Carl Anderson in years. Based on outward appearances, it's pretty shitty what he's doing. But for all we know, it could be a big giant, swerve because they're having communications and working together for it. Because I can't see Carl Anderson being that guy to just dick New Japan like that. But I don't know. And that's the point. We don't know, and that's the beauty of it, right? As far as the OC, I would think they'd bring in somebody that has ties to the Bullet Club if they're available. Would be my first choice. Alba Fire seems like a good candidate. It's just, where's the story? Is there a story with Rhea and Alba? I don't know.
Well, he also mentioned this. Charlotte's due to come back.
She is due.
And she and AJ did tag team in the mixed tag team match back when that was still a thing. Mixed match challenge. Yeah, thank you.
That's true.
So they do
It
have.
would be weird, though, to try and present Charlotte as a babyface. Charlotte as a babyface has always seemed to flop to me.
Yeah.
She really has.
She's very much like her father. Just can't, they'll cheer because, oh, cool, she's back. And it's like, oh, wait, nah, you're a flare.
No. Oh, wait, she's in the title feud. How did that happen?
Yeah. But also, Rhea's a heel right now, but she's so freaking over like her over. It really is not going to matter.
Yeah.
The people love her right now, so.
Rhea's doing amazing stuff. It's probably her best work on the main roster with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had people. I was watching Raw Monday night with the family. Oh God, I can't stand Dominic. It's like, no, I love what they're doing with him. I'm this generation's Eddie. No, Eddie was that generation's me. It's like, damn, they are just all in on the Eddie Guerrero tie-in with Dominic. Even now, 17 years later.
I was thinking that they're probably going to hold this story from Ray and Dominic off until the Rumble, and then have Dominic toss Ray in the Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
And then build it up to WrestleMania. Maybe somewhere along, Dominic's is like, you're not even really my father. My father is Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And like that crowd would lose their mind because it's like, holy crap, long-term storytelling.
Seriously. JJ popped for like nobody, man. We were talking about long-term booking for years. And it's so funny. One of my dearest friends who I met through Disney fandom stopped watching wrestling because of that storyline. Like flat out cold turkey was done with the Dominic thing. So, and that was, like I said, 17 years ago. So I would love it if that built toward a Mania match with those two.
All right. Well, it's 8:00, guys. So
Woo!
It's time for Dynamite. So thank you guys for joining us. Join us next week for our interview with Ella J. That will be the entire hour. And then this channel, at least my stuff, will be taking a break for a little bit. Tune in tomorrow for Jack of All Trades. Don't ask me who's on. I don't know. Just tune in tomorrow. It's going to start at 6:00 Eastern, not 5. So once I figure that out, I'll put a graphic, or maybe they'll just put the generic graphic up because I have no idea what's going on. But tune into that tomorrow. It's chaotic, and Yes, SRS for the Greg Cherry brand is going to
That's right.
happen in the
It
Gauntlet.
happened. It's
It's going
happening.
to happen. Just depends on when we get that filmed. Yeah.
I'll get
All right.
to work, I promise.
Yes. Jeff will get to work on the questions. Big G and I will be praying that the Steelers don't suck the rest of the season. We will see you next week.
Sunday for now. One week at a time.
1 week at a time, yeah. We will see you tomorrow for Jack of All Trades, and we will see you next Wednesday for the Greg Cherry Show. Until then, don't be a Jag, and have a good night.